Alright guys, as promised, I told you I would show you how to put on a bull bar on this 2008 Honda Ridgeline, and to my left, which is, you really can't see it, let's pan over, there's the box for the bull bar. So, let's get started. Alright guys, the first step is going to be the all-important unboxing of the box. And then you're going to need the all-important utility knife. And I won't bore you with the details, so I'll just get this done and show you the results. Alright guys, here she is, and I'm excited. She's looking good. And of course, there's the bar itself, and then it's got a handy dandy little guard on the bottom there, and I bought the one that has the little top mounted holes already to install lights if you want to, and then you have the bracket guards or install bracket pieces left and right, and then some instructions, and then your hardware. And of course, the instructions don't necessarily match with the pieces like the brackets here in the picture. It does give me a close enough model of what how I need to mount it, but that's why I'm doing this video, so you guys don't have too much of a problem when you're doing it. And in this kit, you do have to cut the splash guard underneath, which I will show you in a second there. It's the front piece underneath here. That will have to be modified, and it looks like not too much, but the hole underneath there, which I will show you, is probably, oh, I don't know, a couple inches, where there's a couple of bolts that you need to access, and when you put it back on, the splash guard, it will not fit the mounting bracket hole. These are way bigger than, whoops, excuse me, what you need for that. That won't fit. So you're gonna have to cut, which it won't be a big deal. I'll show you that here in a second. And real quick, if you're as excited like me when you unbox things, make sure that you take your time. I took the utility knife and cut into the wrapping, and of course I left a scratch mark, and it looks like to be the size of Texas. Oh no, actually not Texas, probably, I don't know, Maine. It's a good maybe foot long, and in the overall scheme of things, obviously you can do a quick paint job over it, a touch-up, and you won't be able to see it. It is a bull bar, so it's not that big of a deal, but you don't want to have a mark on it right as you take it out of the box. So learn from my mistake and slow down and take your time. Okay guys, I moved to the front of the vehicle, and here she is. Yay! Alright, and here's a couple of things I'm going to tell you that makes it a little easier to do this job. One is going to be the creeper, and you can get this at Harbor Freight, and in fact you can get all these items at Harbor Freight, and that's what I did. And here's another handy dandy set of little plastic removal tools, and then of course we have a pair of clippers, and I'll show you why I needed these clippers here in a second when I get underneath here. And let me scooch around here, get on the creeper here, and I will show you what I mean. Okay, the previous owner put on zip ties for some of the little clips, or in place of some of these little clips because I guess they lost them. So I will have to cut these. But let me show you how to remove these clips first. I'll get my tool here. Sorry, bear with me. And you really don't need the special kit. I just like to use it sometimes. It's going to be hard to do this with one hand, but I'll show you. You're going to, let's try this one. You're going to try to get underneath this small, there's two steps to it. Underneath this little lip here. Put your tool underneath there. Pop that out. Like I said, it's a little hard to do while you're got one hand. Oh, there you heard the pop. And now it's ready to be removed. So you get underneath the actual spot here that's underneath the splash guard, and then pop her out. And there you go. And you're gonna have, let's see, it looks like maybe you actually might have to remove this bolt. Of course, that one right there. There's one right here. There might be one underneath, supposedly under this spot right here. So you've got about, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 that you're going to have to remove. This one is obviously there's nothing there. They just zip tied it to this little spot here, but there's some more underneath here. So like I said, you're going to have about probably 6 or 7. Don't quote me on that, but you'll be able to pop them off. And if I run into something else, like I guess maybe this bolt right here, this might have to be taken off. I don't know. I haven't done this yet, so like I said, I'll let you know. But here, anyway, while I'm underneath here, right here is where you were going to be mounting the actual frame part for your bull bar. And it is these 2 bolts here, and there's going to be another one underneath here, I believe, because there's three parts or holes on that little bar, the frame bar there. So it's these 2 right here, and there's that opening, like I said, that we're going to have to cut to be able to place it underneath there. So let me get this off the splash guard, and I will see what we have to do from there. Okay guys, clips are off and it is hanging, but I will tell you, make sure that you keep these little guys because you can reinstall them, and a good rule of thumb is you might want to pick up some of these when you think about purchasing your bull bar, because taking these off, I had at least 3 of them break on me. So you're gonna probably need a few, or you can do like what I'm going to do in the temporary term. Whoops, is I'm going to put some zip ties in there. So like I said, make sure you get some of these before you start this. Otherwise, you're gonna have to run into some problems like I did. But basically, there was a few that were hidden that I didn't see. One of them is this guy right here, which was up on the, by where your frame is, right here. And then there was another that I had to take off. You can see you got a tire right up in here. And then the ones that I told you about earlier, you don't actually have to take off these pieces. Because they are actually, you have this is actually right, where'd it go? This is hooked on to this, so you do have to take off the clip, but you don't have to take this actual splash guard piece off. And like I said, the only other hidden one that I saw was right up underneath here by the radiator, and I don't know if you can see it, but there was one right here, and then a hidden one underneath this little piece, the splash guard piece. And if I move it out of the way here, it's hard to see. See if you can see it right there. Oops, right there. And I know it's really hard to see, but it's just underneath your grill right here. There's my license plate, and it's right straight underneath there, right underneath here, and it's a little piece that was hidden. But besides that, then move my drill here. The splash guard just pretty much pops out, and there you go. We're ready to move on to the next piece here. Okay guys, so we're going to go to the instructions, and of course we just did the first part, which was remove the splash shield. And the second part is we're going to grab the locate and remove bolts that hold the frame brace and bumper brackets to the vehicle. And that's going to be these guys right here that I showed you earlier, but now we can get a better look at them. And they are right here. There's the frame bracket right here, and there's those two bolts that I was pointing out earlier, and there is his buddy right here. There's the third one that we gotta mount also. And you notice that they are wet because I already took the liberty of putting on this cheap can of SuperTech lubricant, which states on the bottle that it loosens rusted parts, and I'm sure these are a little bit rusty, and I don't have my other product that I normally use that loosens bolts very good, so I thought I would try this because I have this on hand. So you need to loosen these three guys, and then on the other side over here we have the same thing, these three guys. And I will do that now and get back with you here in just a second. Alright, so now the real fun begins. It's time to install this, the frame bracket here to the frame, which, let me get underneath here and show you again what I'm talking about. Right underneath here. Remember I took those bolts off? Well, this sucker goes on underneath this right here and over the top of this, which is the bumper bracket. It goes like that. Move back here, and this part sticks out. This is what, right here, my pinky, that's what the brace, the actual bull bar fits on. So this thing's heavy. Okay, so it goes up in here like that. And I will show you, there's only two bolts again, right there, and then the 1, 2, and then the third one is the bumper one. So only 3 bolts. I'm not gonna put it on while I'm filming because I only have one hand then, and it'll take 2. So I'll go ahead and put it on and then show you when I'm done. And as promised, here we go. See, there is the bracket right here, and it is facing towards the front. There's what we install. There's another one on the side over here, another hole that's you can't see. But anyway, here is the bracket, like I said, and these are what I put in. Bam, bam, bam. And you'll notice these are new because the ones that I had in there before were pretty rusty, and the threads weren't looking very good. So I had to go ahead and replace these two. You probably won't have to do that, but my vehicle was in pretty bad shape. So like I said, I replaced these two, and then I did, on another note, have to undo this a little bit, which this is the frame bracket, and if you don't undo this, then you can't really pull this down to put this in. So you're gonna have to unloosen this a pretty good ways to get this to slide down, and you can move it over that way a little bit or that way a little bit to get this frame bracket on there. But that's it. Now she's in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and move into the other side. This one, I already have this taken out here. I'm going to move over there and put that on there, and I will go ahead and stop this and show you here that in a second too. Alright guys, now the other side is on. There's that side, and there is that side. Fourth step is to cut the plastic splash shield and install that. So the way we're going to do that is get me the other sheet here. Here's our little cutouts that we have. Upside down. And this one is for the driver's side, it looks like. And this one is for the passenger side. And let me lift you up here. What we're going to do is walk over to the splash shield here. And I'm going to cut this out with a pair of scissors on each side, and then place it on the splash shield itself, and then actually cut it out. Okay, here's my cutout right here that I use scissors on, and you didn't want to see that because that's boring. Anyway, and here's the openings here that the bolts sit into, and it says towards front of splash shield, and this is the passenger side. So I'm going to stick that on there over the center of this little spot here, the existing opening. I'm using a painter's marker. That way I can show up here and just trace it real fast. So let me step that on there and give her a nice trace around this. Hopefully this shows up. So I'll be able to see it pretty good. There we go. That looks much better. And I'm not too worried about this step being absolutely perfect because it is a splash guard, and as long as no one's seeing it, so as long as it does the job, that's fine and dandy with me. And let's go get cutting. All right. All right, bingo. There we go. There's our hole. I'm going to do that on the other side over here. Scooch this over. I'm going to do that on the other side over here with the other cutout that I got to cut out. I said that twice. So I'll stick that on there and we'll go from there. And here we are magically in with the splash guard. And boy, that was fun trying to fit it around there. And so I had to do my own little revision because that hole that they gave me was not big enough whatsoever. Did not work. Probably should put it on before you stick this bracket on the splash guard. Their instructions are horrible. So when you do it, definitely put this on first. Or excuse me, the splash guard on first, and then stick this on, because it doesn't fit very good. And like I said, it's a splash guard, so it's not a big deal. I cut a little bit out and you can see the other side, I cut a little bit out more, and I can access the bolts, and it's not huge. It's just obviously not as good looking as I would have liked it, but no big deal, because like I said, it is the splash guard, and everything that's important, like all the holes, are in there, so it's secured. Obviously you can see that I put ghetto zip ties in there, and these are just a few of the spots that they had there on there before, and I don't know if they had that on there for a reason or not, but these are going to only going to be temporary. I'm going to put some different stuff on these to secure them, and so like I said, those are going to be temporary. You won't have to stick those on there. So that's it, and then now I am going to have the fun part of putting the actual bar on the brackets themselves. So that is the next step. Where's the bracket? Okay. All right, and if you're like me, you have nobody to help you. So what I'm doing here is I put the bar on a little towel here so it doesn't get scratched up, while I put this underneath and stick it, let me get it in a better spot here, stick it on the outside of the bar here, because that's where it's supposed to go, and then I stick the bolts through there and lightly tighten them up in the back. That way I can let me get that one tight, because I don't think I tightened it up. Anyway, that way I can just lift this up and swing it up and put the second one in here and the second one over there. Otherwise, there's no way you're going to be able to hold that up and then go to each side and put the bolts through. So like I said, the best way to do it is just stick it on its belly there and put something down there so it doesn't get scratched up, and then just stick it on the outside of these and line them up and put them through, and then you can swing it up, and there you go. You've done it with one person. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in and show you here how it looks. All right, and there she is. Just make sure when you're putting those on, I didn't show you tightening that up because I figured that you would be bored with that, but just make sure that you use the lock washers that were in the kit. Mine came with lock washers, not the lock washer nut. So just make sure that you're putting these on the sides here, with the kit, because that's what's going to hold these in. And they're right here, right there, and that's all that's holding this guy on, is that right there. But it seems to be very stable, and it's a nice look. It's right clean up against the car, or excuse me, the truck. This is a truck, and there she goes. If you have trouble, just give me a comment down below what you're stuck on, and I will help you out. All right, so that's it. 2008 Honda Ridgeline with the bull bar installation. Hit that thumbs up if you like the video, and subscribe, and I will see you later. Peace.